Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and from our friends at 49 and Market, you guys, this is the cutest collection. It's called The Looking Glass. It's not Alice in Wonderland. It's fairies and little mushrooms and miniature frogs and adorable. This, you guys, is our giveaway card for this episode. And if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, you guys, we've got a 6x8 collection pack. We've also got 3 sheets of rub-ons and 4 sheets of laser cut elements. So let's start with the paper pack. All right, absolutely adorable. You're getting 9 double-sided heavyweight cardstock sheets. You get 3 of each. Okay, first of all, cover, got an adorable layered piece right here. This is a one of, so this one does not get repeated. And then I think, now that I've said that, I'm wondering. I don't think it does. I'm fairly confident. Okay, and then look, you guys. These are little woodland magnifying glasses, okay? And they're meant to sort of be zooming in on all the tiny little elements. Absolutely adorable. I had so much fun with this. Here's another one, and it's sort of zooming in on the tiny little fairy, the toadstools, the flowers. The trees have like a string of lights going on them. And then on the back side, you've got this text writing. And then here is one of the little magnifying glasses right here. So cute. And then another tree with this wonderful text. And then the green on the back. Go. And then this one with the gorgeous flowers going down the edge. So beautiful. And little flowers at the top right-hand corner. And then the brown on the back. This one has little cutout postcards. And then on the back, this really pretty border with a kind of cream color polka dot right there. All right, here is another one of those magnifying glasses. And then look at the little ladybug. And then all the flowers, the birds. The detail is incredible. And then a ledger with this little detail at the bottom. Okay, this beautiful border here. It's like a little bingo card off the corner. Look at this all over print. This is very like a cream polka dot in the background. And then you've got cream and sort of peachy flowers and lavender flowers. And I love all of this text. And then you've got some stitch zigzag lines here. And then a little fairy. This is a really light pink sort of linen paper. All right, then on this one, these are long tags. And then you would just trim them at the top. And then on the back side, if you turn it this way, is beautiful sort of white background with kind of a charcoal-y print. And then look at the looking glasses, and then I think we're starting over. So cute. You get all of these, you guys. So fun to play with. All right, so let's now take a look at the rub-ons. You're getting 3 sheets. They're absolutely adorable. So you're getting larger ones like this. Then you're getting the little splats and splatters. You're getting all these little great sentiments. Another little looking glass that looks like it's almost like stressed over the top of that. And then the text writing, the stitches. So cute. I'm going to show you on a card how I use these elements. All the flowers. Here's another looking glass. And then you could keep this inside of that, or you can just cut that out and just use it for something else. So cute. All right, now let's take a look at the laser cuts, which I think 49 and Market just does an amazing job on those. All right, so for this one, you guys, you're getting 4 sheets or 113 pieces. So on the very front, you have this large looking glass and that you can cut out, and then all these flowers, postcards right here. All right, look at this. How adorable. Look at this looking glass here. And then you've got some wreaths. And then you got, this one's almost like a picture frame. It's got this like base down here at the bottom and then this opening up here. Same on this one. Let's see if we can zoom in on some of these characters. Look at this frog with his little pack and his little walking stick. I mean, I'm done. It's just, and then the bunny is waving, and then the bear's having a cup of tea, and another bunny is waving, and then this one has, little bear is so cute with flowers in its hair. Look at the tiny mouse. Look at the little toadstools, the beautiful fairy, the birds, the ladybugs, the jars of dragonflies. Here you have a raccoon with glasses reading a book. Give me a break. It's just too cute. Here you've got a squirrel. They're educated little critters. They're just adorable. Look at this little house. I mean, I was having so much fun with this. Look at this one. Oops, this one's coming out. You've got a lot of like tree stumps and things like that, which is great to just put a little dancing fairy on top of that tree stump. So cute. There's lots of houses. There's lots of these just little places that fairies would hang out, okay? Look with the rock down below and then all the moss and things, a little bench, a little garland of like dragonfly jars, and then another house, teacups with toadstools. It's adorable. Keys with little greenery around it, the little mouse under the toadstool. So many little details. You just want to dive in and start playing. All right, so immediately let's jump in to this card. It was for a giveaway, okay? So this is a slim line card. This one is 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches tall. So I knew I wanted to showcase something that was very vertical. So first of all, I inked the edges of my card using khaki ink. I just inked along the top and the bottom because I have an 8.5 inch tall card and 8-inch tall paper. So I knew I was going to have a border. I just wanted to color that a little bit. Then I took this paper right here, which is upside down, and I glued it to the card center. So is it still upside down? Did I grab the wrong paper? I think I have the wrong paper. Yes, I do. Okay, hold on. Don't go away. Because there's two. There's like a left side and a right side of this paper, which I'm glad this happened because I didn't point that out. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. Yes, there's two of these. So goes like this. Isn't that cool? You can align them. So this one has the fairy on the side. I used this one with the fairy over here, but I didn't use the fairy. I cut her off. So here we go. So I used this side of it. So the tree was going up, all right? I used some rub-ons right here with the little splatters and whatnot. Then I took some of the laser cut lanterns and I foam taped them right here. And then a little fairy right here and a little fairy right here. Foam taped those as well. You can see the dimension on there. And then added these paper flowers, you guys. I'm sorry, I forgot to grab them, but I'll list them down below in the supplies in a lavender color. And I just used a little Cosmic Shimmer Specialist acrylic glue to attach those. I used the small bottle, and that was great for getting just the right amount of glue. And then we also have, you guys, the Nuvo glue, and we also have the 2 sizes of that. So all of these glues I'm going to be listing down below the video. I recommend all of them. All right, so once I got my little lanterns on there, and then it was time to do the greeting. So for the greeting, I wanted the inside-outside card, the card inside-outside Dazzle Greetings. We call them inside-outside because you can put something on the outside of the card, something on the inside of your card. They have pairings to them. Debbie and I just kind of use them haphazardly though. Sometimes we don't put something on the inside. So I used the gold one, and may all your wishes come true, okay? And just sort of had it sort of cascading down. And then I wanted to add some little purple Jewel Dazzle stickers, these little circles, and you'll notice them here, 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 sort of cascading down with a little extra sparkle. And when we open up the inside, okay, I took a piece that I sort of had a scrap left of the text paper, and I tore about a little wider than 2 inches on this side, inked the edges of that once again with my applicator tool and khaki ink, and glued it on this side. Then this side, I had some paper left over from that all over text one. Let me see if I can grab it. They might even be on the reverse. Here we go. This is all over floral. I used this one, and I just tore a little strip of it so I would have a straight edge here and then a torn edge here. Inked the edges of that, and then you guys, I added this, probably thinking about it later, I was like, oh, I should have added the rub-on first and then the paper over it, but I added the paper and then the rub-on, and it worked out just fine. So from the rub-on, I added this, I loved the lavender polka dot behind it, and then cut out some more of the little lavender polka dots that had just like splatter, and I just went ahead and I applied those there and there. Here's a little laser cut butterfly I glued, and then these 2 butterflies came from this sticker sheet, and then I just added one of these to that, one of the little dazzle stickers. So very cheerful, very fun for a birthday, and this is our giveaway card. So stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to tell you how we can get this away to one of our viewers, okay? We do a card giveaway every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here, and that's my favorite thing to do. I love it. All right, let's take a look at this card. This is a 5 by 7. It's a tent fold card, so the fold is at the top. And I used, there's a lot going on here. So first of all, I used the paper that is like a ledger paper. Really should have had these ready to go. So I used the ledger paper like this. Okay, cut it slightly smaller than the card because I really wanted to feature this piece. But then I took this piece right here, this oval piece, that kind of looks like a picture frame. It's right here. And I went ahead and I just glued that to the left side of the card. And then I added these little green fern dazzle stickers. And they're just coming up on the sides. And then I foam taped the little mouse, foam taped the little bear, added a Just For You dazzle sticker. I wanted something small, and these come in great different sizes, and they come in this pack of all these different colors. And of course I used the brown one, so if you want to read those, and added that right there, and then foam taped this little fairy, foam taped this little butterfly, added some purple jewel dazzle stickers just like before. I should also mention that before gluing this background paper down, I did ink the edges of that using a little cocoa bean ink and my blender. And then when you open this up, okay, I used this background paper. I won't find it, but it's pretty distinctive. And then one of the cutout little postcardy pieces. And then I just glued that after inking the edges brown. I glued it on 3 sides so it has a little pocket. And then put a little sticker right there. And then You're in My Heart also came from this collection right there. A couple of more of those little green ferns. Foam taped the butterfly and the little toadstools, and then added some more purple jewel dazzles, you guys. So this is just a really fun little Just For You card. Of course, you could change the sentiment up to anything you want. All right, so next one. This is a little 5 by 5 card, and I wanted to make an easel from this one, you guys. So I scored it on the inside at 2.5 inches, or half the width of the 5. And then I cut a piece of the patterned cardstock that was just slightly smaller. So it's like 4 3/4 inch square. And then I glued that after inking the edges. I glued only the bottom part of that square to the bottom part of the card, so that it can just prop up like this for whoever receives it, okay? So after inking the edges and gluing it to the bottom, I used one of these circle shapes that is kind of like a wreath, but it didn't have like any of the flowers or any of the leaves on it, but there's all of these little extra leaf twigs and things like that. So once I glued that down, and then of course using this whole collection, using the small bottles was really nice to be able to get the details on. So I glued this down, and then I added some of the twigs and foliage. And then this piece right here is of this little house. It's this one, okay? So I glued that to kind of have the vines go over the top of the house. And then I foam taped this piece right here, or actually another piece right there. This one I foam taped right there. And then foam taped some little toadstools, and then the 2 rabbits, foam taped those, and then foam taped the little mouse. Before I did anything, and I know this is out of sequence, after gluing the paper here and before adding this wreath, I did take one of the rub-ons. The day is full of findings, and I rubbed that on the bottom, then added the wreath, then added the house, then glued this little toadstool down. This little mound of toadstools got foam taped, and then everything else is foam taped. Okay, so then we go to the inside. I basically just had a little scrap of paper left over, and I wanted something that you could have a space to write. So I inked the edges of that, glued it towards the bottom. This is a 1-inch strip, okay, that I inked the edges of the all over flower print. I added this rub-on of pink stitches, and then added this little greeting of brown script greeting dazzle stickers right here. Okay, and there's 3 different sheets of different sentiments. Added best wishes there, and then just a little branch of the little leaves, and then I foam taped that little mouse at the bottom so that it all works together. That was a really fun one to do. So here is my 5 by 6.5 inch card, and I've covered it with this paper that has like the sort of charcoal drawings on it, and I use this little border along the bottom, so my card went right over the top. Usually I like to sort of square up my card so you're only cutting 2 edges, but I really wanted this part centered right there. Okay, so we've got that. Then I inked the edges all the way around pretty heavily using khaki ink and my little blender tool. And then along the top edge, you guys, I wanted to use some red because I'm going to be bringing in some like red toadstools. So I used some red jewel border dazzle stickers along the top edge. Here's one of the little rub-ons. Even the small is worth noting. Adorable little sentiment. I'm going to add one of these rub-ons right here to bring in some more color with the flowers. Just going to place that right there along the edge. Okay, just trying to get much of this area touched with the surface of the bone folder. There we go. And then we're going to see if I need to go back over it again many times. You just need to kind of go back over it to get it to loosen up. You'll see how it's just coming off just like that. And the bottom, a little bit more pressure. There we go. And now what I've done is I'm going to take that big looking glass and I put some acetate in the back of that, you guys, just for funsies. Now on the inside, there was this piece that was evacuated from that. I used that as my pattern for the acetate. I put this on a sheet of acetate, which you can buy the sheet at paperwishes.com. I think it's about 50 cents. I put that right over the top of that, and then I just cut it about 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around so that it wouldn't just go through the looking glass, it would actually sit on the back of it. And then just used a little bottle with the glue to attach that acetate circle back there. Then I took our foam tape, cut it into really thin lines, little strips, and just put little strips of that back there because I want it to kind of raise up off the card. And finally, I've got another little rub-on we're going to be putting inside of this, okay, because we have to keep it super adorable. And then I'm going to take this. This is Sarah's little tip about making a little bend back like this. And that way when you remove it from the backing sheet, you always have a little place to pick it up off of. I love that tip. Okay, so we're making sure everything's going to stick on here right there, and then you can absolutely do one rub on over the other. Okay, and then we're just going to peel here. Got some over here I missed, just a little bit more pressure there. There we go. Kind of burnish that down. All right, so now we're going to put the looking glass over it, and then we're going to add more of these cute little laser cuts. Sure. I don't want to get in the way of my greeting, or my sentiment rather. Okay, so this is at the top part of the looking glass. That's okay because I'm going to add this cute little house is going to go right there. We'll need a tiny little bit of foam tape under that to kind of give it a little support. Okay. Oops. That's just going to go, I don't need all of this, I cut too much. Right there. I think a double layer would be good. Okay, that's going to go there. And just a little bit of glue at the top. Kind of want it to stick on these little parts right there. Okay, like that. And then I've got this little tree stump with the things, ferns and things coming off of it, just like that. So we're just creating a little scene. I want that glue to go right around something solid to attach to. We're just going to tuck it under a little bit. There we go. I've got this adorable frog who's going to live in this little house with his little mouse friend who's taking a nap right in there. Okay, and then I've got some toadstools that could just go right here. Just bringing in, oh, I already planned for foam tape on that one. Just to bring in a little bit more color over here. And then I've got these adorable little red, I'm just using the word adorable so much, these little red ladybugs that I want to go here. So I'm just going to put a little glue right on the edge of this. I think another one like right here. And finally, I have these little yellow flowers. Okay, there's a little yellow paper flowers. I'll list those down below the video. So sweet. And I think those would be really cute. Just add a little bit more color, a little bit more dimension. Right here and right here. Okay, I think we're good. I like how that turned out. So just, I love the little dimension of the looking glass with the acetate there. Like you're peeking in on that little guy taking his little nap, if you can see, little mouse under the toadstool. And then we've got these climbing branches and things. Really, really sweet. All right, you guys, this is a fantastic collection. I had so much fun playing. 49 in Market really hit it out of the park on this one. Don't forget, this is our giveaway card. So I'm going to tell you about the Money Saver, and then I'm going to tell you about our card giveaway. So this one, remember, is a little easel card, just pops up so nicely. That is a fun one to make. I hope you guys enjoyed the card ideas. Let me know in the comments what you think about this collection. I had the best time using it. So the Money Saver is right there. If you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, it's on the right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that will take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. If you look down below the video at paperwishes.com here on our webisode page, you will see full color photos of all the cards, and then if you click on those, you'll see all the supplies that we listed on each card. Or if you want to just look below the videos, there's just a whole bunch of supplies that we used. And you can add those directly to your cart. So if you're watching us I already said that, if you're watching us on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box for the link. So how we do our card giveaway. We do a card giveaway every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday here at Paper Wishes. If I'm hosting it, I'm giving away a card. So definitely participate in that. And then how we do that is we ask that you hop on over to our Paper Wishes YouTube channel, which is called My Paper Wishes. We ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment, and also give us a thumbs up for this video. Okay, so like, comment, subscribe. And then after about a week, we'll come back and we'll say, congratulations, YouTube username blank. And we'll announce the winner by their YouTube username. If you're not sure what your YouTube username is, go back and look at your comment, and that'll be labeled with your username. It's also a good idea to hit the notification bell at the top right-hand corner on YouTube so that you know when we are announcing a card giveaway or when we're posting a video every, which we do like 6 times a week, so you don't want to miss those. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. Don't forget about the money saver, and I'll see you in the next one.